Hello! Why do we put salt on roads? Well, it has to do with something called freezing point depression. Freezing point depression is a colligative property. Colligative properties are properties of solutions that depend on the amount of solute particles dissolved in the solution, but not on the identity of the particles. Freezing point depression is the difference in temperature between the freezing point of a solution and the freezing point of a pure solvent. So usually when you add a solute to a solvent, this causes the freezing point to become lower. So today in my experiment, I'm going to be picking up an ice cube on a string without tying a knot. So to do this, first I'm going to take an ice cube and put it on a plate. Next, I'm going to take a string that has been moistened with water and place it across the ice cube. Now I'm going to sprinkle some salt on the string and the ice cube. And now I just need to let it sit for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, so now that we waited for 1 to 2 minutes, I can pick it up and the ice comes along with it. So, why did this happen? Well, when I put the salt onto the wet string and the ice, the salt actually dissolved in the water and it formed a solution. When the salt dissolved in the solution, the polar water molecules actually surrounded each sodium and chloride ion and separated them. The water molecules form a little shell around each ion. And since they're forming this shell, they're not in their crystal lattice structure, which is required for the water to be in its solid state. So, thus the environment needs to be colder in order for these crystal lattice structures to reform and form ice. So, this is how salt lowers the freezing point of water. Now, because the solution at the surface of the ice is lower than 0 degrees Celsius, which is the freezing point of water, it'll actually start to melt. And as this solution starts to melt, it's absorbing heat from the environment to break these bonds. And this causes the area surrounding that solution to become colder. So thus, the water on the string and on the surface of the ice refreezes. And so the string becomes frozen to the ice. Now, we'll return to our original question. Why do people throw salt on roads? Well, by throwing salt on roads, we're actually forming solutions and lowering the freezing point of these solutions. So, because the freezing point of these solutions is below 0 degrees Celsius, the ice will cease to form. It'll dissipate. And so this makes our roads safer. However, salt is not the most effective thing to use to lower freezing point. Calcium chloride, which has a chemical formula of CaCl2, would be more effective because when it dissolves in water, it dissociates into 3 ions instead of 2, like salt. The more ions that the solute dissociates into, the lower the freezing point will become. Thus, that's why calcium chloride would be more effective than salt. All right. Bye! Thank you for watching!